Hi everyone, and welcome to what I've decided to call Serenova Crafts. I needed a title, I couldn't just leave it untitled, so it's Serenova Crafts. Today is Wednesday, January 14th, 2015. My name is Jessica. Sorry, before I start ranting. I'm Jessica, I'm your host. I actually have natural light today because I'm recording this in the daytime. I still have my artificial light over here. See, lamp. I totally messed up my lighting there. Because it evens me out a little bit, but I like having the natural light thing, so it's not just like a split down my face. If you see me looking over this way, I apologize because I'm double checking my video. I try to keep it directly under the camera, but you might still notice my eyes wandering, and I apologize for that. I'm not good at talking directly to the camera because I can see myself moving, and I get distracted by myself moving on screen. And I'll also be looking over here, this way. There we go, you can see my finger. Because I have my notes on my other screen because I dual screen. So I have my laptop and then I have a monitor attached to my laptop, and the webcam is sitting on top of the monitor attached to my laptop. It's a little confusing. I also have speakers on the side and everything. And I have everything I need on the desk in front of me here. I'm going to try to remember to look in the camera and not at my picture. Picture, camera, picture, camera. See the difference? Yeah. Anyways, I have a few things to share with you today. I've already rambled for a minute and a half and I haven't even gotten anywhere yet. Great times. So first off, I said in my last blog post, and also I said in my last podcast, but I also said in my most recent blog post, which I put up on Monday, that I'd finished my January socks. So here's the first one I did. I still need to remember how to hold these up to the camera. I'm still getting used to that. I'm sorry. So here we go. Here's sock number 1. And excuse the end not being woven in. I'll try to put that back here. And here is sock number 2. So, and here they are. Together! Yay! Okay, can I see? Yeah, okay, I can see what I'm doing. I still don't know how to use this camera. It's a learning process. So we have the 2 socks. They very obviously don't match because, like I said in my last one, the pattern repeat was so long that it's just not going to work. So I didn't even bother. I have not yet cast on more socks because I don't want to cast on a non-personal sock club pair of socks because I'm pretty sure I'll just abandon them come February 1st when I pull the second bag for my personal sock club. So I'm avoiding casting on more socks. However, I do have other projects already on the needles, things I've had to do. I have spinning, but I haven't really done much spinning this week because I had some good news. I got a temp job last week. It started on Wednesday, and then it ended yesterday. Though I might have to go in for a couple more hours later this week, but for right now, it's done. So that was great, and I actually have I'm calling it semi-permanent because it's a 3-month contract position that is set to get extended if they like me. So, and that starts on Monday, but I have to go into Cambridge for 2 weeks starting on Monday. So I won't be able to go to one of my knitting groups for another 2 weeks. I've already missed the last 2 weeks because of interviews and then this contract job because I didn't go yesterday either. Last week I didn't go because of an interview. And then this week I didn't go yesterday because of this contract position. And then the next 2 weeks I'm going to miss. So it will have been a month before I've seen these ladies. Great group of ladies. I love them. They're great. I'm usually the youngest person there by a good margin, but I like going. It's entertaining. It's held at our local Barnes & Noble. I just saw my shirt in the video, and if you're wondering where this came from, this was summer of 2012, as you can see with the number, 2012. Tall Ships came to Boston, and it's run by an organization called OpSail. And it's all of these historical tall ships. We got to board them. We got to look around. We got to see the rigging, how they worked. It was really cool. And they were off of, I forget where it was in Boston. I really don't remember. I just remember I took the bus into South Station, and then I took the silver line of the T out to the financial district, and I walked with my mother from there because she was working way out in the financial district at the time. Don't ask me more than that. I don't know my way around Boston. I could find my way out of a paper bag better than I can out of Boston. Boston's a maze. It really is. But that's where this shirt comes from. It's my souvenir from that event. It was a great time. I love historical things like that. I don't know, there's something about history and sailing, and I love it. Anyways, the tall ships was Operation Sail, I think is what the OP stands for, Operation Sail, but it was tall ships that came to Boston, and they were actually from all over the world. There might be a U.S. flag on the shirt. It's over on the side, sorry. There might be a U.S. flag on the shirt, but they weren't all U.S. ships. There was one from Australia, another one from England. They were from all over the place, and it was a really great experience. I loved it, had a blast, would do it again in a heartbeat. Anyways, back to knitting. I finished the socks. I've got on that tangent about my shirts. Sorry about that. I have my spinning right here, but I haven't done much. I've done a little bit since I showed you last week, but not a whole lot. So you can see the cop on the spindle isn't much bigger, but I'm working on it slowly but surely. I have until the end of the month to finish the first 2 ounces, and then I'm going to give myself February to finish the second 2 ounces, and it has to be applied by the end of February so I can cast on beginning of March so that I can knit the shawl I've selected by the end of April. The shawl I've selected isn't that hard. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. I have it in my queue on Ravelry if you don't mind me, looking for a moment here, because it is in my queue. And I didn't add it to my queue because I like to remember these things. So, waiting for it to load. Come on, Ravelry, load. Cat Among the Seabirds is the shawl I'm going to knit. It's the one in the picture is pink. I'm not a pink person, but the one in the picture is pink. And I'm using it for that. It's a triangle shawl, and it's got like a solid center with lace edging, but the lace edging is like really deep. It's like deep lace. But I think it's something I could definitely do in 2 months. It's not terribly complicated because once you set up the lace, it just repeats until the end of the shawl, and then you have a pointy bind off. It's not a picot bind off. It's literally like your working points of the shawl. Excuse me, I need a tissue. And they're under the desk, so I need to lean forward. So I'm doing the Cat Among the Seabirds shawl for the D-spackle, the drop spindle and knit along. So that's that. Back to my notes on that screen. I'm going to be casting on Catkin. Remember Catkin? Yeah, here we go, Catkin. I have the yarn. This is so I have my light color and my dark color. Let's see if I can get a good. Nope, the camera's not doing a good. This good? Nah, I don't know. But it's a nice green, and this is a cream. It's got shades of brown in it. I'm not sure if you can see, but it's a variegated skein here. Well, the hank is actually. These were both yarns that I saved from the cat. I'm happy I get to use them. And they're both LRA Lace Merino. The green is color 35. I always have the names. I don't remember what this one is because I lost the label. I do know it's LRA Lace Merino, but I don't remember the color name. But these are going to become my catkin. I'm really excited. So, let's see. Excuse me, my throat was very dry, and I have my tea here, which is in my cat person mug. I lead an ignored and fur-filled life, which if you have a cat, yeah, you have a cat. People have dogs, cats have servants. This is how it works. Or whatever that saying is. Oh, dogs have masters, cats have servants. That's what it is. Or something like that. Sometimes I hear people say cats have slaves. But servants is a little more nicer sounding. So one of the projects I'm working on now that I finished my socks, which I finished those on Monday, which was 2 days ago. I've been working on my hitchhiker shawl, which I have in the project bag that I showed you folks last week. I managed to put a couple more points on the shawl. Nothing you can really tell, because at this point, unless you pause the video and count the points on the shawl, you're not really going to be able to tell. But I put a couple more points on, so it's growing nicely. And I'm starting to get close to the end of the ball of yarn. Well, not that close, but closer than I was when I videoed last week. And I'm hoping to have that done. I don't really have the goal for when that gets done. I just want it done. So one thing you might notice behind me here, right over there, is a sewing machine. This one's one my mom got me a year ago Christmas. Well, Hanukkah, but whatever. It was December. A year ago, December. Was it a year ago or was it 2 years ago? Honestly, I don't remember. I've had it for a couple of years now. think it was 2 years ago, actually. I think it was 2 years. And because I really wanted a sewing machine. And my mom has 3, neither of which work particularly well. Because they're all older than me and a little cranky at this point. And she's the only one that can really get them to work. So she bought me my own new one. It's not some huge brand name one. It's a Janome. I don't know if anyone's heard of that brand. But they're actually made by Singer. So it's not like there's some weird Chinese thing. They're made by Singer, but it's basically an off-brand Singer. And we went to sorry, I have the humidifier, which is right over there, running, and it's still really, really dry in here. I blame the radiators because the heat. I'm not used to this kind of radiator heat, and I guess it's really dry because like my lips are chapped. I wake up all dried out. It's not fun. But anyways, back to sewing. I got the machine at a local store here in town. It wasn't like an ACMR or a Michael's. It was not a chain store. This was a local shop that is the only one around. It's been in the town for longer than I've been living here, which is most of my life. Like 95% of my life I've lived in this town. I mean, I moved here when I was not quite 2, so I've been here a while. 25 years at least. And they've been here far, far longer. They've been around for, God, years and years and years. Does it say on their website when they opened? Probably not, but they've been around for such a long time that they're like an institution. And you know that if you need a sewing machine fixed or a vacuum cleaner, they're a sew and vac place. And people know in town that if you need a sewing machine fixed, you go to them. They do great work. Not exactly the fastest place in the world, but they do amazing work and they warranty it and they know what they're doing and they don't rip you off. Great place. Love them. But that's where I got that machine. And the, don't know if I mentioned, I know I mentioned this in my blog post, but I'm not sure I mentioned this in either of my previous 2 videos. I bought a treadle sewing machine right before the new year started. Literally December 30th. I'm going to one of my local shops, and there's an antique store really close by, and I went, oh, I've never been in the antique store. Why didn't I walk in? They had a Singer treadle in the cabinet working for $25. It went home with me. Went home with me the next day. I had them hold it overnight because I didn't have access to an SUV that day to get it. But then I dropped it off at this sewing place, and I just called them today, actually, for an update on it. They haven't gotten to it yet. I guess they were swamped over the holidays. But the guy seemed really happy. I was like, oh, no rush. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Because, I mean, I have a working machine. It's not like I need a treadle sewing machine to sew, which, by the way, this is sewing. I made curtains for my friend's closet because the closet doors are busted. I have a friend. They are moving into my mom's house. And the closet doors in the 3rd bedroom at my mom's house, because I have the 2nd bedroom. I still haven't completely moved out yet. So I still have the 2nd bedroom. My mom is the master. And our 3rd bedroom my friend is moving into. And the closet doors in that bedroom are broken. The closet doors in my bedroom are broken too. I think Mom is the only one that doesn't have broken closet doors in the house. I swear to God. But they needed something to hang in their closet to act as like a doorway or to like hide it, visually make the space cleaner. So they chose the fabric, which is like swirly galaxies and stars. See? And I cut it into 2 pieces and sewed it into 2 big long panels. And they have the loop at the top for the, we're going to use a bar like you use for your shower curtain, one of the tension rods. We're going to use a tension rod. So I sewed the loop for the tension rod to go through. And then I sewed the edges because it had the selvage, but the selvage didn't look very pretty. So I like folded it over and sewed it down so that the edges looked clean. And then at the bottom, instead of trimming it to the proper length and just doing like a 1/2 inch hem, I instead folded I would fold the fabric, so I folded it 3 times, sewing it 3 times, so that there was weight at the bottom of the curtain and it would hold it down. Because if I just trimmed and sewed, there wouldn't be much weight holding the bottom edge of the curtain down. But we wanted these to hang nicely. So I just folded the edge a few times and then sewed it down, and that's it. Bob's your uncle. Actually, I do have an uncle named Bob, so I don't know why. I can't really use that phrase ironically because I have an uncle named Bob. But anyways, that's what I did, and I finished them last night. The sewing machine's still out because I haven't put it away yet. I've been lazy. But I got to sleep in this morning, which was nice. And this job that I'm taking that's starting, that I have to commute to Cambridge for 2 weeks for, is technically a work-at-home job. But I have to go in for 2 weeks for training. Or maybe 2 weeks, possibly a week. We'll see how it goes. I don't quite have all of the details yet. I know where I'm going, but I don't quite have all of the details yet. So, let's see. What else did I want to talk to you about? Oh, right. I said on my blog ages ago, I graduated from college in December of 2013. I have a BA in English. And I walked, like, in my school's yearly graduation ceremony in May, because they only have one graduation ceremony a year. Because why have two? It costs less to just do one, right? One. Which actually, you can watch it online. I should totally put a link. But it would take you forever to get to me. But I will say this. Bill Nye, the science guy, was my graduation speaker. And I could not have been happier with the choice. Yeah, he talked about climate change and science and all that stuff, but it was Bill Nye, the freaking science guy. I grew up watching his show in the 90s. To me, it was like the best thing ever to have him as my graduation speaker. I mean, I was, thrilled. And by the way, I knit during graduation because I had to sit on that floor in that folding chair for 3 hours. And women were allowed to bring like purses and stuff. And with us, people had backpacks. Like, you were allowed to bring basically anything you wanted on the floor. I saw people playing Game Boys. Okay, Nintendo DSs, but Game Boys. Because I grew up with Game Boys and I just call them Game Boys. I call my DS a Game Boy because to me, Nintendo will always make Game Boys. But anyways, I saw people playing Game Boys. So I sat there and I knit. Of course I knit. I knit during my graduation. But I never actually had gotten my diploma. It was supposed to come in the mail in the spring and it never did. And of course, for this job that I start on Monday, I need it because the job agency who this job is through needs to verify my education. And so I needed either a transcript, which I have unofficial ones, but I'm not sure whether they needed an unofficial or an official one. If they need unofficial, great. If they need official, that's a little harder to get a hold of because I don't have one. But I called the school this morning and I called the registrar. The registrar was like, you need to talk to the English department. And then they hung up on me. So then I talked to the English department and the English department was like, you need to talk to the registrar. And I'm like, no, the registrar told me to call you guys. So the woman on the other end was very nice. She took down my name, my phone number, my student ID number, which I still know, but I'm not going to tell you. But I still know it, so I rattled it off to her. And I still go, I still type it on the numpad in the air. It's weird. And so then I called a different department at UML because I never got my yearbook either. So now I'm still trying to figure that out. So I don't know where my yearbook is because that was supposed to come in September. And I still don't have my yearbook. And I want my yearbook. Like, seriously, I want my yearbook. So, excuse me. So tomorrow morning, after my doctor's appointment, I am going down to UMass Lowell, which is where I graduated from school, and I'm going to go to the English department, and I'm going to pick up my diploma. Because about 45 minutes after I spoke to this lady, she got back to me. She called me back. She said, the dean's office has your diploma. I'm going to go get it today. I'll keep it here in the office. And she asked me whether I wanted her to mail it to me or if I wanted to come and get it. Well, I live 20 minutes away, and I need this in hand on Friday. So I told her very happily that I would come and get it tomorrow morning, sometime after 10 o'clock. Because my doctor's appointment is at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I don't know how long it's going to be, and then I need to get down, and then I need to drive 20 minutes to Lowell, Mass. So that's that. I will finally have my diploma. Finally! It's been over a year since I finished school. It's been 13 months since I finished school. Almost 13 months since I finished school. And I will finally have my diploma in hand. I think there was just like a clerical snafu when it got filed away in the dean's office. And so they never actually sent it to me like they were supposed to. But they have it. It's there. It's printed. It's all set. It's signed or whatever they do. And I get to go and say hi to people I know tomorrow on campus because I haven't been there in ages. And I might as well just go bug the crap out of professors and say hi. Tell them how I'm doing. I got a job, blah, blah, blah. Right. So, but yay, I got a job. I finally got my diploma. I'm still trying to track down my yearbook. Haven't quite found that yet. But hopefully soon I'll have my yearbook. Anything in reach? No. Okay. I'll look to see if there's anything else I needed in reach here. I think that's just about it for this episode. This one's a little shorter than last, but I don't have too much to talk about. If I'm talking too fast, because I do tend to speak extremely quickly and I do tend to slur sometimes, please let me know. This is a chronic problem with me. I get excited and then I start speaking really, really quickly and I start slurring my words, not on purpose, I swear. And all of a sudden you can't understand me. So if you're having trouble understanding me, please let me know. Please tell me. I would really appreciate it. I have no problem in trying to be cognizant of the fact that I'm speaking too quickly and trying to slow down. But I just need to know. One last thing before we go. By the time this video is posted, both to YouTube and to WordPress, which is where my blog is, and by the way, nope, I'm going to lean this way because it shows up better on the black. I'm going to have all of my information here. Yay, information! And I will also add the name of the Ravelry group I'm going to start for this podcast. So you can join me there. I will post the show notes for this episode and the last episode as 2 separate threads. I'm going to create an introduce yourself thread. So hopefully you will join me there. It'd be nice to have a chat with people. I know that a lot of other podcasts have Ravelry groups. And so I figured now that I have a name for this podcast, Sereonova Crafts, that it's time I made one as well. I was holding off making one until I decided on naming it. And I'm not calling it Sereonova Knits or anything because I do more than just knit. I knit, I crochet, I spin, I sew, I cross stitch, and I weave. Do anything else? I do draw occasionally. I might have to show you some of my old sketches. We'll see. I do a lot of crafty stuff. Every once in a while I bake, though I wish Kevin would. Kevin's my boyfriend, by the way. I wish he would let me cook more. Like, we made meatloaf over the weekend, and it was my suggestion, and then he makes the meatloaf. And I'm like, you know, I can make meatloaf here, but anyways. I love him dearly. I wouldn't be living with him if I didn't love him, I swear. But my mom gave me a couple of, like, housekeeping books, and then I have the what is it? I have it on the desk here. My mom gave me the new Good Housekeeping cookbook, which is actually not new, because this is from my grandmother, and I'm looking for the copyright, excuse me. And the copyright on this is 1986, which means this book is older than I am. So it's not exactly new. But it's a cookbook, and it's good housekeeping, and there's a lot of good recipes in here, and I want to start trying to make some of them soon. And I think, finally, that's it. I forgot to link Evernote, which I talked about last time on this podcast. I forgot to link it in the show notes, so I'm going to link it in the show notes here. Yeah, I think that's it. So I get to go help my friend move now. After the video processes and I get it online and everything. There's a delay here. But this afternoon I get to help my friend move. So, yay! It's a good thing I have a car. And it's a good thing I have a tank of gas. Because it's cold out and I have to let the car sit to warm up. It's 17 degrees out. It's a little cold. And that's Fahrenheit, by the way. So I hope everyone has a good week. You can see my normal text blog post on my blog at myknittinglife.wordpress.com. I'll put up all my other info, and feel free to follow me on any of the social media stuff. I don't put up my Facebook because that's a little personal, but Twitter, Instagram, Ravelry, my blog, my YouTube channel. Feel free. I'm happy to have followers. I'm happy when people give me feedback so I know how I'm doing. And thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show.